What's happening, guys? This is Adi from Tiros International, and I'm here to chat about the huge win that happened earlier today. Olympiacos beats Panathinaikos for the first time since May of 2023, thanks to a strike from Oleg Ryabchuk. It has been way too long since we beat the Vazeli. It is unfortunate, but you know what? We got the win. We're happy. Balance has been restored in the Greek football world. No red cards for them to speak of. We beat them. Even though we missed a penalty, we missed so many great opportunities, and Panathinaikos finishes the game without a single shot on target. So we're going to chat a little bit today. We do apologize, guys, that we weren't able to do a live show. Costa was at the stadium for this match, so check out the vlog if you haven't already. By the time this is up, the vlog should be available. So check that out. Always bringing you guys some of the upfront action with these live vlogs, fan cams, you name it. It's all there. Costa also had a chance to chat with a couple of players as well. Really cool stuff. So check out the vlogs. They're awesome. Costa is doing most of the editing and actually puts those things together. So they're fantastic. Give him some love on those because they always turn out amazing. Now, before we start with the reaction and we start talking about the game itself, don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe to the channel. We are growing all over the place. We are about less than 150 away from 13K on Instagram. I think, about 250 away from 11K on Facebook. And guys, we are less than 110 subs away from 6K on YouTube. So many great milestones that we're hitting. This is continuously growing channel. We love it. Thank you guys so much for the support. We also want to thank our patrons for their support as well. We have a new patron that we would like to thank, Nick Sakelis. Nick is actually a returning patron member as well. So we're glad to have his support. And we love to thank the support and thank all of our patrons that are joining us so far. The Patreon community is continuing to grow. It is huge. The WhatsApp group is always lively. So consider joining us for $1 a month. You can join the WhatsApp group, chat with Olympiacos fans around the world. And we also constantly are sharing insights that we do not share on social media. You can also get access to extra content like deep dives, watch-alongs, and a lot of great stuff on there. So check it out, patreon.com/Tridos7 International. So thank you guys, and on to the reaction. So the match today, the big surprise going into the match was with the starting 11. We saw that Andre Horta ended up starting with Chiquinho flanking him, and as well as Gelson Martins. And then it was bit more of, the starting 11 was as expected. Ayub El-Kabi, Hezem Muzakitis, and then the back four that we know is our starting back four. Ortega on the left, the center back pairing of Retsos Carmo, and then, of course, Rodinei was on the right, and then Paskalakis, who's been the goalkeeper for all of our Kipelo matches, all of the Greek Cup matches. He started today. Now, the match started in the first half. Pressure was up. Olympiacos kept the pressure high. Panathinaikos had some struggles with it, but they played deeper. Rui Vitoria was keeping their lines pretty rigid. He was keeping them compact. Approached it pretty much the same way he approached the first game. So we were going wave after wave. The press was intense, but we were getting opened up a little bit on the left side of things. Panathinaikos, especially through Vayanidis, who had a great game today, minus his penalty, the penalty that he gave up at the very end. But Vayanidis was probably one of the most dangerous aspects of the foul team today, the Panathinaikos team. He was constantly running up, and they were really trying to isolate Francisco Ortega and go after David Carmo. They were sending Tete, Vayanidis was running up. The goal there, they were trying to isolate and move by David Carmo, who we can say with Carmo and Retsos, David Carmo is the weaker link when it comes to dealing with those one-on-one dribbles. So, but all in all, they had a couple of dangerous situations, but fortunately our defense and our midfield, especially through Santiago Eze, they were able to recover most of the time. Panathinaikos, they had a couple of decent switches across our penalty area, but nobody there. The defense was able to clear a lot of things out. They only had 3 shots in the first half, 3 shots in the second half. They couldn't get anything on target. Their best opportunity in the second half came from, in my opinion at least, Jurisic, who dribbles through Biancon, comes down the left side, and he dribbles after a 1-2 pass and move where he receives the ball deeper in our penalty area. He dribbles, kind of like nutmegs Biancon, and then gets a shot, what probably would have been a goal because Paskalakis' positioning was not great, but he just completely skies the opportunity. That was their best chance all night. And for how little chances they had, Paskalakis sure gave us a couple of scares today. I mean, we saw why Tolakis took the starting role from Paskalakis. I mean, he was all over the place today. Paskalakis had some very bad positioning, and we almost gave up a couple of goals to mistakes he had. So very, very fortunate not to have eaten it on the because of some errors by Paskalakis there. But going back to the game itself, we were in the driver's seat for most of the match. The referee was calling a lot of things against us. It's weird because we were the ones that were dominant in possession, yet most of the fouls were called against us. And you don't usually see that in games. Usually, the team that's possession dominant, the team that is being forced to take more defensive actions, is the higher likelihood of getting fouls. But that wasn't the case for Panathinaikos. So it was a little bit frustrating in that aspect, but the team kept pushing on, even as they were getting frustrated. They were pressing, they were moving the ball well. We basically were we spent so much time in their final third, delivering balls, missing. Oh my God, Ayub Al-Kabi missed clear chances. Gelson Martins would do these wonderful runs, dribbling past 1, 2 people, a couple of defenders, but then his final ball today was miserable. Poor Gelson Martins, man, for all the work that he did, all the magical dribbles, I don't think he connected a single final ball. I don't think he had a single shot that actually did anything. It was very unfortunate in that respect. But, credit to him and the players. They kept pressing, they kept moving. Andre Horta, I would love to talk about him a little bit because I thought Andre Horta today was a great link between our midfield and our offensive line. Andre Horta had a couple of great balls to cut the lines to try and find either Ayub Al-Kabi or one of our wingers in stride. He had a couple of lovely balls, plenty of service into the penalty area. It didn't look like Andre Horta left. The way he was playing today, it was like he hasn't left. He didn't miss a beat, and you love to see that. I didn't expect him to start, I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect any of the new signings to start. I figured one of them we would see as a substitute. I figured at least one, but I didn't think we, would start. And Andre Horta was a great addition. He was helping us move the ball around very well today. So very nice to see him. Santiago Heze had a great game today as well. He so many great interceptions, helping us stop the ball, cutting down passing lanes. He worked very well with the defensive line to stifle, especially in the second half, to stifle so many transitions for Panathinaikos and help keep us on the front foot and keep pressing things into that final third. The really big thing for me today, the big message, the big takeaway is that even after the signings, our biggest issue is still our efficiency, not just in the final third, but in the penalty area. It is unthinkable for us to have so many opportunities. In this game, it was 16 shots with 7 on target. So many opportunities, and you can't get them either on frame or you miss so many you offsides all the time. You don't shoot the ball. In the first half, guys, so many times we would get down to the final third and we would be moving the ball around, pass, trying to cross. And when we're inside the penalty area, guys, just take the shot. Panathinaikos had numbers in the box. They were playing deeper. Take shots. Take shots. That was a huge problem with the team today. People were afraid to take shots, especially in the first half. Second half came around and people were willing to take more chances. Panathinaikos was blocking quite a few of them, but you were drawing the defense out, and that's something that we needed to do in the first half. Now, after the end of the first half, even though things were a little frustrating on different sides, and we saw that they were really trying to push us down the left, I actually couldn't decide what move I wanted to make at the end of the first half. I wanted to bring on Christopher Velde for sure, because this seemed like a game where he could really come on and help. When we needed somebody to that was willing to get forward and take shots, it really seemed like this was a game, for him. I wanted some kind of support for Francisco Ortega. Francisco Ortega was struggling a little bit on the defensive side of things. Vayanidis was giving him a little bit of a problem. Francisco Ortega even drew a yellow in the first half, and I was concerned personally, and I know some of the patrons were as well, about a red card trouble since he had already drawn the first. I even considered, maybe we should bring in Pirola. Let's bring in Pirola. Let's just lock it down, and at the very least, make sure that going into the second half, Mendilibar is telling his midfielder, he's telling Mujakitis, he's telling his hey, listen, guys, we need to be a little bit more concerned, stay a little bit further to the left so we can stifle some of these transitions. And I think that worked, because in the second half, we saw a lot less of Panathinaikos putting pressure down in that side of the field. And that was really, really something that was noticeable in that second half. Other things that happened in the second half, we got Babis Kostulas was subbed on at one point, which I think was a good sub. Babis Kostulas is a very strong, very frustrating player to deal with. Even if he's not really scoring a lot, he's very useful for us because he runs a lot, he presses, he helps create mistakes by the opponents and gives us opportunities to take the ball and make something from it. He had a little bit of some issues when he got onto the pitch today. He had very difficult times in the beginning trying to connect passes. He kind of had a heavy touch. It was difficult, but then he grew into the game pretty quickly. The the match itself in the second half, you just felt that a goal had to be coming. With unfortunately, after Julian Biancon drew a penalty, a lot of people were starting to think, look, it's not happening for us today. All these chances, we can't score, we can't put anything on frame, we're not scoring today. There's no way. Biancon draws a penalty, El Kabi hits the post. El Kabi has screwed up multiple penalties this season. I think one thing after today is take El Kabi off penalties. Let somebody else do it, because this is crazy, man. But in the end, maybe it's better in the end that he missed it, because I know Panathinaikos fans are out there that they would have been crying corruption about the penalty, even though it was a clean penalty. Contact was made by Vayanidis, and he knew he screwed up too. He knew he screwed up. You could see his face. But there was more contact there than there was contact more there than the penalty that was given to Ioannidis against us when we were down to 10 men. So, I'm not going to say anything on that. We've received worse than that. We've received worse. So, I mean, absolutely, absolutely, definitely a penalty there. Can't say anything else. But in the end, we don't score there, and that saves the Grinja at least, because then the 18-year-old wonder kid, one of my favorite players on this team, love him to death, Christos Mouzakitis, gets the volley. And after it looked like he attempted to take a shot, and then it goes back to him and he rips another one, and then he scores in the 93rd minute. We're in extra time and he puts it away to give us the progression to the semifinals. He secures it. And that's the second goal he's had now in two straight games. He gets the game winner against Levadiakos for us to get the 3 points, and then he gets the winner today. Guys, I have wanted this for Olympiacos since I have been watching Olympiacos. I have always wanted to see an Olympiacos where our talent, our products are out there and they're the ones that are making a difference for us. I've always believed in having product that we have created, Greek talent, going out there and doing a job for us. And those things that I always believed were possible, but never really saw, it's finally happening. We are witnessing a golden age of Olympiacos. And it didn't just come out of nowhere. This has been in the works. If you are in the Patreon chat, you would have seen you would have seen what Martial had sent a certain player that told us about Muzakitis 2 years ago. Players were telling us about Muzakitis a couple years ago when things weren't doing so well. So this has been coming. And, this planets have kind of aligned in that respect with how things are going now, right? Because we had a season that started with Diego Martinez that started off pretty well. Then after that Panathinaikos, after the Wankar situation, unfortunately, things took a turn. He lost the locker room, and then a little bit of chaos ensued, and it was shaping up to be a disaster season again, like the season before. But Mendilibar comes in, and then by a miracle, we go and we win the Conference League. That now has culminated with a youth league win, and while the men's first team is out here competing for a title this season and doing well in the Europa League, we have also these young talents that are coming up in the academy. So the stars are aligned because this is all happening at the same time. And we're very fortunate that not one, but two of these bright young guys, Kostulas and Muzakitis, are not only playing for the team, but they're such important figures for the roster so far. And it's not over yet. There's more players to come. Some of the same people that told us about Muzakitis and Kostulas have also told us about Papacanelos, Isidros Kusidis, who's on loan at Volos right now. There's we have so much talent now coming up. And there's kids that are playing right now for the U19, that are interesting and that we want to keep an eye on. Kids like Yusuf Tay, a Forest, he was supposed to be a Forest Academy product, but couldn't get the work permit. Lamin Silla, another one. Stavros Pneumonidis, winger, very interesting player. And then don't forget, guys, we have Bakulas, another midfielder. He's doing the rest of the season on loan at Rio Ave. So we have so much young talent, promising young talent for the first time in a very long time. Talent that could really actually offer us something, a lot of them. So we are in a golden age of Olympiacos, guys. The last thing that this team had to deal with to get off its back to really just set its sights full speed on the rest of the season and for the title was to beat Panathinaikos. It was the last thing holding this team back, the last mental block that we couldn't get out of. And it was beating those little shits. The groundhogs, as I like to call him. Remember when we first started the show, you would never hear from a Panathinaikos fan. Had no idea they existed until, they got a draw against us or something. They all popped up out of nowhere to say something. The groundhogs. Now they've had some, success. They won the Greek Cup last season, and they're all back. They're all out again. Now after this, they all seem to have gone back into their holes. We needed that win today to continue building the momentum. Mendilibar is now 21 games unbeaten. He has never done this in his career. Huge. And we need to continue to ride this momentum because we are the best team in Greece, period. We are the best, and we just showed it. Panathinaikos is the only other team that can compete with us right now. PAOK is maybe too far down. I you know, they screwed up and they didn't do anything in the winter. Now they've lost Levi Garcia. They lost Callens with a heart condition. It's not good for Ike. All offense, no defense. So Panathinaikos really is our primary competition for the title. And 2 straight games against them, we have absolutely dominated them on the ball. The only reason they didn't lose twice is because of the red card, the previous match. This title is ours to lose. Ours to lose. The Greek Cup at this point, also ours to lose. Because in my opinion, Panathinaikos is a more difficult opponent than Ike. Ike has way more vulnerabilities, even if they have better offensive pieces. All of this is ours to lose. Now, the end of this month, we will play the first leg of the semifinals against Ike. And then I think we play the second leg in April, which is bizarre. But anyway, we are going to have a packed schedule. February is pretty easy so far. We're not worried about Europa League because we're in the round of 16 already. So we're going to watch that. We're going to watch our possible opponents play, see how they look, and we are going to win these games. We've got Asteras coming up. That was a match that we played, in the first round of the league games, and they upset us. They disappointed us big time. Now it's time to bring it back. It's time to see also what the likes of guys like Luis Palma can do for us. Can he help us with these issues we have? These issues we have with efficiency in the final third, getting shots on target. Is that an option that we have that can help us? That's time to see. This team is playing better and better, and we're seeing the passion on the field. They continue to play like that we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. In Greece and the way we're playing in Europe, I feel that this team can get to the semifinals in Europa League. I feel this team can, at the very least, break our Europa League record in terms of uh, getting to the round of 16 and for the first time getting there. I think this team can get to the quarterfinals for the first time in the Europa League for us as a team. This team is special, proud of everybody. Everybody was out there fighting. Everybody did their part. I had a little concern about Ayub El Kabi today because, for so many games, even though he got that clutch goal for us, against Porto, you know, Ayub El Kabi's kind of back to this just wasting so many chances, offsides. I mean, Ayub El Kabi's offsides more now than he ever was last season. Ayub El Kabi's his efficiency's worse this season. I've told you guys that, even if it's still pretty good, he's still on pace to outdo his last season's total goal contributions. But man, he is making it very difficult for himself. So I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping everybody stays healthy. Proud of Christos Mouzakidis. Again, this kid is continuing to show everybody why he has the goods. I'm gonna wrap this up for you guys. Also, I'm gonna tell you all my man of the match and my coach's grade. I know it's not a live show, so normally I would ask you guys. Normally we would have like a little bit of a round table here, but I am. It's going to be very simple for me, and I feel like now it's been what 3-4 games in a row where I've said this. Mouzakitis is my man of the match. Another clutch shot there. I have some midfield bias. Maybe if I'm being more fair, I pick somebody else. But no, Mouzakitis, I thought he did have a great game today. I thought he did very well. He was moving the ball quite well. He was getting into it with all the Panathinaikos players, and it's not like he has the same build as them either. So man of the match, 100% goes to Mouzakitis for me. And I'll give Mendilibar. Um, I actually thought the substitutions were good, and the substitutions helped in the second half. So you know what? We get the first win against them since 2023. Mendilibar gets an A for me. He gets an A today. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with how he did, and I'm very happy with the team. Like I said earlier, we've got Asteras coming up over the weekend. It's the early game on Sunday, so need to get the win, need to secure the 3 points, and then we need to move on and keep going. It's the we don't have a difficult schedule for the next couple of weeks, but like I said, guys, end of this month we're going to end up with the Greek Cup game, and then in March we're going to have Europa League. So right now the schedule's nice. People can rest. We can rotate a little bit, but then it's back to it. By at the end of this month, we're going to have multiple games a week again. Not that I'm complaining because I love multiple games a week for Olympiacos. It's great stuff, guys. It's a great time to be an Olympiacos fan. Every single person should be thrilled with what they're seeing. The team is playing well. They're playing with passion. They're playing for this. The stadium is back. The Karaskaki is back. Have you guys been hearing the sound? It is noticeable. It is noticeable the noise that is coming out of the Yoros Karaskakis now. It is fantastic. The fans are back. Everybody's back. And this is so awesome to see. Enjoy this while it lasts. Enjoy this because we are witnessing a golden period for Olympiacos. And I believe that 100%. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, sorry we couldn't do the live show for you guys. Difficult to get everybody together. Also difficult with the times for these midweek matches. But we'll be back this weekend. Check out the vlog, and we will see you guys next time. This is Theodros International by the fans for the fans.